Awesome people. Let the clerk get set up, and we'll go directly, save some time, we'll go directly into his IA, his RST, so we know exactly what his North Star is. Let's take about 3 minutes or so to review what his RST is. Mind pulling up the survey as well, but
Yep.
yeah, just put it in there.
You still want to use that
Can't find that.
for some reason?
You can find it in the email.
It's in the county.
That's in your calendar.
That's what I wondered.
Oh, we got it too.
You got this.
It's okay. All right, so before we go in, let's just quickly go around and just kind of name a word, how you're feeling, and give some quick updates to social days, and we'll get rocking and rolling. Can I have someone also be a timekeeper?
Gotcha.
Timekeeper
Of course, got it.
and focus on perfect. All right, give us a 10-minute one.
Gotcha.
Go to party and start yourself. How you doing?
I'm good, it's Monday.
I feel I'm tired, but it's like it's not bad tired. It's just like a Monday morning tired. Yeah. That's good.
How you doing, sister?
One word?
Or you can phrase since you've got a phrase in my word.
I'm just gonna say, I'm alright.
I'm gonna go with the flow of I'm alright.
I'm alright.
I'll take that too.
Yeah.
I feel good and happy. I'm in a good place. Life couldn't be no better. Just appreciate the things I got because it ain't much. So
how
I just
hype
appreciate all them things you got going.
So how hype are you?
I'm just hype. I'm just hype. I'm just leaving it at that.
Almost.
I'm sorry. He forgot.
All right.
Wait a second. All right,
It's a grant.
go for Grant. Let's,
When you have a chance, can you call by Mr. Phillips? I certainly have a question about there.
okay. So let's go ahead and look at the IA.
Yep.
Norm on what exactly the knowledge, skills, and processes is for that. And let's just move down the flow. I will be right back. Go check that class.
Alright, so my IA is about the importance of wearing a bike helmet. And they have to use 3 out of 4 sources, one of which is Newton's 3 laws of motion. So I'm going to teach this horribly because I don't understand physics, because I'm not a science teacher. That being said, it says write a well-written essay that addresses the discussion regarding the absolute necessity for wearing a bicycle helmet. Source A, Newton's 3 laws of motion should be central in supporting your argument. Support your position with evidence from at least 3 of the 4 sources, yada yada. Cool. So let's just rush this. Standard. Just put the prompt in there, right? Knowledge. Alright, so shout them out.
Essay structure.
Essay structure.
What type of
I love that this is being recorded. The just lights go off.
What type of essay?
It's an informative essay.
Okay. So accurate text evidence.
Um, it asks them to address discussion, so, addressing conversation.
Yeah.
So what is conversation? What is discussion?
What is conversation?
What is a bicycle?
So they would have to know like what's necessary.
What do you mean?
Like it says, what are the necessities of?
Yeah,
Or
it
is it-
says, a well-written essay that addresses the discussion regarding the absolute necessity for wearing a bicycle helmet. So basically, like, they're addressing,
Safety.
is it necessary? Like, is it absolutely necessary to ride, or to wear a helmet when you ride a bicycle? And then I'm gonna add, what does it mean to address something? Because that's their academic verb, that half of them are like, what does that mean? My house? My house address? I'm like, yes. Your house address. Anything else?
You put a formative essay.
Yeah, I have that.
Okay.
How do I?
Is yours an informative too?
Yeah.
Yours argumentative?
I wish mine was argumentative. It's so much more fun.
It's so much.
So
yeah,
easier,
it's
so much easier
easier.
to teach than that.
So are you teaching about counterclaims and rebuttals and all that?
So I'm teaching to the basic version of it, as in you need to address the other side within your interpretation. Because I'm kind of unsure of how to teach them addressing that counterpart without them messing up the structure. So I'm just like, long as you can speak to, long as your essay shows that you understand the other side.
Hmm.
What do you think, like synthesizing sources?
Yeah, how to break down prompts, how to write a thesis, how to plan an essay, how to annotate documents with purpose, how to write a multi-paragraph essay, or full ACC paragraph, because we do have some fifth graders who are still there. How to make sure you're on topic, using academic vocabulary accurately, synthesizing multiple sources. Hit me with what I'm missing. Anything else?
Can you go to your prompt?
Yeah, I feel like the first sentence is really wordy. I feel like it's intentionally too wordy. It hurts my soul as a writer.
So they got to use 3 of the 4, so if you put that in there.
No, I didn't, thank you. Skills.
Say like even video evidence too, try to pull evidence from videos.
Oh yeah, and there's a picture too, actually. How to pull information from non-text sources. Good call. Yeah, there's actually just a picture of like a girl on a mountain bike wearing a helmet. It's like, that's one of my sources.
Any other pieces from his eye ever seen? What else we doing? Good knowledge, skills. Did we do the processes yet?
Not yet, that's the next
Okay.
step.
So let's go ahead and move down to that.
Okay. Prompt breakdown. Planning an essay. using a plan of attack.
And so, pulling evidence from video sources. Any other pieces that we're seeing across the board? So let's start.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go to move on.
Next.
Alright.
So, assessment item, this is where we're looking at my roadmaps.
Yep.
Alright. So, guys, if it's okay with y'all, I'm just gonna put them up on the board. Here's the deal. This day, we were formatting evidence. So basically teaching them not only how to pull evidence, but how to actually format it correctly in their writing. So, we watched the video on Brain Pop, and then I gave them the transcript from the video so they could actually see the actual transcript, so they could pull evidence from it directly. And essentially what we did was, my first one was actually an exemplar, so I gave them the answer to this one, questions here, the answer is here. And then I have a CFS for formatting, which is kind of long, but it's long because they're all really simple. And fifth graders really need like this like checklist type structure. So what they would do is they'd go through, they'd write their answer, and then they'd check each one. So the first one, first letter of the sentence is capitalized. If they had it done, they'd highlight it green to show me that they were moving on. I would go in on Go Guardian, and if they had something wrong, I'd highlight it red, and then I'd collect data, and I'd pull all the kids for, like, if it was CFS 5, like their answer didn't, or the evidence they selected didn't answer the prompt, I'd pull everybody, like, you formatted it correctly, this is all correct, however, your answer does not actually answer this question, so we'd go back through and find the correct answer. A lot of them were really simple, though, like, if they just didn't have a comma, I'd be like, just put a comma there, it's right there. Which was really helpful for them, and it helped them master it. And they had, I think there's 20 questions on here where they literally are just formatting their evidence the same way multiple times. If they got through 10, I considered it successful because it was one class period. This kid got 6.
So, okay. Can someone explain exactly what is his credit, like what was his output for students? So what should we be looking for as we look at the student work? Based on the CFS.
Proper grammar when they're
I feel like
explaining their evidence.
Title of the source. Sentence stem.
Yeah.
The text states, we just use that sentence stem over and over again. With some of my higher kids, I let them start blending evidence, but for the most part, it was just using the text states like over and over again.
Okay. So any processes, you named a process that you want the students to do while they're going through this, and someone else explain that, just so we're all on the same page. With the highlight.
You mean just the formatting of the quote, the evidence?
So remember, I said when kids go through this checkbox, what are students doing? With their work.
Are they answering it first and then are they going to the checklist?
Yep.
Okay. So I guess they're kind of self-assessing themselves.
Can you guys read this?
Sort
I
of.
can see it on my screen. It looks a lot different than yours.
I'm working.
We're struggling.
Okay.
I can't actually, I can't
Highlight
highlight
it.
it. I can't
So-
unhighlight it right now, but it says first letter of sentence capitalized, starts with the sentence stem, the text states, has a comma after the word states, uses quotation marks to begin and end the quote, evidence selected answers the prompt, quote is word for word from the text,
Yeah.
source name with parentheses, period at the end.
And so the kids are, like Mr. G said, they're analyzing their evidence. They're writing with a check, with the CFS that aligns to what they need to do for multiple classes, and the most important is to just format it correctly.
Okay. So that, let's just go move to the next piece. Thank you for clarifying that, Mr. Clark.
Yeah.
And Mr. Williams, same thing. So let's go ahead and break down his assessment into the following categories: knowledge, skills, and processes. Team. So we have what is evidence, what does form mean? Okay, let's go ahead. Anyone else from the team?
I'll back up.
Evidence aligned to question. Evidence aligned to, what is it, a PDA rubric? What is that?
The
RST
RST.
rubric, yeah, RST rubric. Formatting. We're on knowledge.
I would even say like punctuation, like what punctuation. Seemed like that was part of your CFS.
Yeah,
Mhm.
capitalization as well.
Yeah, otherwise they're lazy. I'm like, no. It's a new sentence, capitalize.
I was putting capital letters anyways.
Right?
Driving me so crazy.
Yeah, you just show them like tweets of Donald Trump that are grammatically incorrect, like, this is why you can't do this, because you look like you're unintelligent. Like, you have to have your grammar.
I don't want to see these
I love it.
messages from the president where it's not correct grammar. That's a problem.
It happens all the time. Okay, back to this.
All right, let's go with some popcorn round. Okay, so skills. Let's go and start back with seventh grade. Come on, seventh grade. What you got?
Skills, I will go with, I like how they had to compare their answer with a CFS. So analyze, yep.
Let's go down from there. Seventh grade, let's go six. Back up to eight.
I would say they need to maybe they need to know how to pull specific evidence.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Come on, sixth grade.
Pull accurate.
Time check.
We've got, it's 10:30 now, we've got 23 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when class starts.
So let's do 5 minutes before that.
Okay.
So about 10 minutes. It's a 10-minute warning.
Yep.
All right, so we'll keep pushing. Processes. We went over it. Really, so we're at sixth grade, fifth grade for the process.
One process is actually reading the text. So like reading the text on your end.
Reading the text.
And I'm gonna say reading text with purpose, because like they should have read the question and know what they're looking for.
I like that.
Sister Ruffin, on that process.
Annotate?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Come on, 8th grade.
But we can also say annotating with purpose, because what we
Yes.
annotate
Yes.
to the question, right? Purpose, yeah.
Okay. And then your highlighting piece.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure that's highlighting. Alright. And we will push on through people. Goes on to the next piece. Alright, so task alignment. Let's go through these questions really quick. Was it aligned to his IA group?
Yes.
I think so.
Yep, I agree. Evidence?
Using specific language from RST group.
Next, student thinking demands. Does the task require students to make their thinking visible?
Yes.
Yep. Evidence, let's go with sixth
Check.
grade. Oh, actually,
sorry.
eighth grade, you got
Sorry.
I was gonna say,
it.
like,
She said it, you brother.
yeah, I was gonna say the same thing, so you can have this one, you got this one.
My bad, I'm sorry.
You good. Okay, sustained practice as a task provides students sustained at-bats with the knowledge, skills, and processes.
Yes.
Yes.
I gave them the Ghana every time they got one correct as well.
And to the
Yeah,
positivity
and-
in there, come on.
It's easy.
Positively framed.
Criteria for success, was it present, either the student work itself or stated explicitly with the task?
It was on every
Yes,
question.
It was on the question. There we go.
Yeah.
Come on. Thank you, Brother Clyde.
I'm getting better as a teacher working here, man.
Getting that CFS flow, and he was mentioning skills of monitoring aggressively, aka differentiate and personalize. Good stuff. All right, next. All right, let's go and look at some student work. Okay, we're gonna have about 5 minutes to do that.
And I apologize that like I don't have this up. I would have
Totally.
imported it, but it's yeah. So real quick, let me.
And were you able to send us the link to some? of the
No,
stuff?
I'm not sure how to do it from here because I'm just looking in my Google Classroom. Like I can see
So
it.
let's just look at a few right now. That's
Yeah.
okay. So let's go and throw them on the screen.
Okay. So
And
this
we'll
is
assess as a group.
yeah. I got this one up right now. This is probably my exemplar student.
Okay.
Let me go to.
And I would say, so this is your exemplar. Tell us why.
This student.
So is it exemplar student or is the task?
This is specifically an
exemplar?
exemplar student, and I actually pushed her after like the second question to start blending her evidence. One thing that she didn't do was she didn't highlight, but she didn't highlight because she's been doing it correctly since day one. So I was like, I'll go back through and if I see something wrong, I'll highlight it red, but she didn't actually highlight green.
So we're looking for all those components in that particular paragraph. Part of your process was to highlight,
Right.
but you said she's progressed past that.
Yeah.
So as we look through all the rest, just kind of make sure
Should be
that's
seeing
happening.
those things, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just go back to the first one.
Okay.
So you need to take like a minute, analyze it. Is it meeting the criteria? Can you scroll down just a little bit just so we can see the CFS?
Yeah.
The last one says what?
Last one is period.
Okay.
Oh,
Can you
yeah.
get smaller? Can you make it smaller?
I can, I'm not sure you guys are gonna be able to do that.
Maybe I see that?
You make it work.
Are you sure? No. Let's just go through the CFS. What are we seeing as glows in this particular student work?
I think Clark said it earlier, but it's not, you know, if you look at it on paper, it's 8 points, but the points are so micro that they could focus on, like, it's not overwhelming, you know, it's only 3 sentences in their answer, but all of these on the CFS make perfect sense, and I don't think it's overwhelming, so I think that you did a good job with scaffolding information to make them focus on individual specific things, and then overall you can check for understanding.
Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next student.
Let's wait, it's right. So go to.
This one would
That
be-
would drive me crazy. That's
Yeah,
happened
this
all
is
the time in your
Yeah,
class?
yeah, I did it, I did the report, got the,
Oh, I would lose my mind with the grant.
Get there.
but the good part of though is the kids don't react.
No.
So I did make it into a thing.
Oh, I would agree.
Okay, so we have about a minute or two. So let's go and look at this next student, which is very difficult.
Yeah,
Maybe
sorry.
we should turn the light off. Maybe I should have left it on.
I can read it for you guys. It says,
Is that-
this question is, where does the word democracy come from? His answer is the text states, comma, quotes, democracy, it comes from an ancient Greek word meaning people power, end quotes, and then Brit-Pod, period.
Okay, so let's go with glows and grills. So glows, what are we seeing based on the CFS?
It's simple and clear. It's straightforward. It's logical. It progresses with how they need to. It progresses in a logical way. So like, they should have their sentence starter, and they should have their comma in the right place after the sentence starter. So it's very like, I do, we do, without the teacher doing it for them.
So specifics, so do you see what glows out of the CFS, do you see specific? Do you see all of the components, or something inclusive? Okay.
I also think, did you do it in order? Like,
Yeah.
so that number one is gonna be the first thing that they're
Yeah,
gonna do?
yeah.
So you
I
put
tried
it in.
I tried as much as possible to have, like, the questions go in order through the transcript, and also my CFS to go in order
Yeah.
in, like, how you actually write out your evidence.
Time check.
We've got 4 minutes.
Perfect. Okay, we'll do one more student, and then we'll go ahead and now we're just choosing random.
Yeah, I just pulled up a couple beforehand, just so that it would not be terrible.
Okay. Just choosing random.
Yeah, this student I actually had start to blend their answers. So, she practiced a couple times, but then, I showed them a video, like, here's how you can actually make your evidence a little bit higher level, like 6th, 7th grade stuff. So same question, where does the word democracy come from? Her answer is, the text states that democracy, so she basically used a sentence starter, but added in this little extra piece where she's giving context about democracy, comma, quote, comes from the ancient Greek word meaning people power. End quotes, source, brain pot. So it's the same thing, it's just that she deviates slightly from this very simple, the text states. She gives a little bit of context about the word in question.
Okay. Any thoughts, any other thoughts? You got this? Okay. What would you say, since we were able to review all the students, overall, and then you collected your data, what would you say overall the percentage of students that mastered this skill, and the students that did not, and then maybe some nuances between the 3 groups that you chose, based on the CFS?
So I had a lot of students master the skill with the CFS in front of them,
Okay.
but I noticed that in taking it away, they would forget pieces, which was frustrating for me because like they did so well with the CFS in front of them. I would say that I had a solid 75% mastery. From this travel group, it was actually 80%. I just picked these 3 because they were just like, I didn't know that I was going today, and I just like randomly picked 3 kids. Sorry, what was the second half of the question?
So like, what, based off the CFS, were there any prioritized skills that you are working on based on your high views of those?
So, yeah, that's a great question. So the big thing that I wanted them to get, like for my low kids, I wanted them to just have a sentence stem to use for evidence. I really wanted, because like a lot of them got 0s on their RST because they didn't use evidence at all. So like that really hurt them on interpretation, evidence, and then also context. So that's why I was hitting this so hard. For my medium-ish kids, I wanted them to have the full correct format. And I'm also pushing everyone on CFS 5, evidence selected answers the prompt. Because once they got like